Jory, there were 3 men who were shot dead. 12 other people were injured by that gunfire. It's still a very active scene here on the 2900 block of Rimpau near West Haven Street.
When they came into the crime scene, very horrific. We have evidence all over the place. We have shell casings, magazines, a firearm that was recovered. We had 3 male victims that had succumbed due to gunshot wounds. They were pronounced dead here at the scene. We have 12 other victims that are transported, either self-transported or from LAFD to multiple hospitals throughout the city of Los Angeles.
Police believe there were 3 shooters here. They have 2 people we know this morning that they're questioning. Now, a gun battle, they say, took place here, and 3 people at the location got into an argument, left, and then returned with a gun and opened fire. There was an exchange of gunfire. 3 men were killed, 12 others transported, including at least 3 in critical condition. Now, 2 possible suspects, police say, are in custody, a man and a woman. They are recovering from gunshot wounds at local hospitals.
In today's video, we're going to be talking about a situation that would happen in the West Adams district of Los Angeles, to where 4 people would lose their life and 11 others would be wounded. But let's dive right into it. At first, it would start off as 3 people killed and 12 people wounded. And the shooting happened on October 15th of 2016. And police would respond to the call of shots fired around 12:30 in the morning. And they would respond to 2800 block of Rimpau Blvd. And as you can see right here, this would be the location in between Jefferson and Adams. And this would be the West Boulevard Crip neighborhood. But according to the owner of the restaurant/building, he would tell them that there was a birthday party going on when an argument broke out between 2 groups. A little bit after that, he would see 3 people leave the house and come back with a gun and start shooting. And police would say that 3 men were found dead on the scene. They would also say that 12 others were hospitalized, where 3 others are in critical condition. And while police were doing their investigations, they would learn that other people that were inside of the restaurant/building also returned fire. And detectives would say that the shooters went there looking for a specific target. They would also say that they believe the shooters killed that specific target. And like we said, police would believe that there was return fire involved. A firearm was recovered from the scene, and a male and female was taken into custody. They were both questioned, but they were both later released. They were both shot during the gunfire exchange. And after police gathered all the evidence, they would realize that there was multiple shooters because they would find multiple shell casings from 2 different guns. So that would confirm the witnesses' story about there being a gun battle. In just a few hours after the shooting, police would learn the street names of the suspects involved in the shooting, but they wouldn't know who the killers are yet. But after a couple of days, police would make 2 arrests in connection with the shootout. And them 2 people would be Mo Wayne McKay, who was 33, and Diego Reed, who was 25. They were both Jamaican nationals, and they were both booked on suspicion of murder on Sunday morning. And police would say that eyewitness statements and videos led them to the arrest of the 2 men. And police would say that one of the men that got killed got confronted by 2 people, and they started to argue over a drug deal gone bad. However, police would say that they know that McKay and Reed are not the men who initially killed the first victim. Police would say that the actual killers are still at large, but they know that McKay and Reed returned fire. And even though police were sure that McKay and Reed didn't kill the first victim, they would say that they were unsure if McKay and Reed shot or killed anybody after that first exchange. And after they consulted with prosecutors, police would decide that they had enough evidence to arrest them. But 2 days after the arrest, on that Tuesday, prosecutors would revisit the case, and they would tell detectives that they need additional evidence to consider a formal charge against them both, and they would both be released. And around this time, another victim would pass away, because like we said in the beginning, it would be 3 killed and 12 shot. Now it would be 4 dead and 11 shot, with 9 of them being men and 6 being women. But the 4 people who passed away were all men. And their names was Imran Townsend, who was 29, Carlton Rose, who was 51, Mark Brooks, and Robert Davis, who were both 54. But just 6 days after the shooting, on October 21st of 2016, LAPD would learn the name of the murderer, and he would go by the name of Marlon Jones. And on that day of October 21st of 2016, they would put a warrant out for his arrest, and he would be charged for 4 counts of murder. And this right here would be Marlon Jones, and police would learn that he had an extensive and violent criminal record. He would even have past arrest for manslaughter and deadly weapon use during burglary. And shortly after, detectives would learn that Jones was part of an East Coast Jamaican criminal group, and his crew was in Los Angeles to settle a dispute between a rival Jamaican crew. And based on information and tips that the police got, they would believe that Jones fled and went to a different state after the shootings. But on October 31st of 2016, they would put a federal arrest warrant out for his arrest. And the FBI was offering $100,000 for his arrest. And even though they offered that, a few months would go by and there would still be no arrest. But on December 1st of 2016, they would move Marlon Jones onto the top 10 most wanted list. And this right here would put Marlon Jones on the radar, because the very next day, on December 2nd of 2016, he would be arrested by the FBI and taken into custody.
The man wanted for killing 4 people and injuring 10 others at a Los Angeles party is behind bars.
Marlon Jones was arrested just one day after being added to the FBI's top 10 most wanted list.
We're told that murder suspect is here at LA County USC Medical Center. Authorities say he jumped off the side of the freeway running from law enforcement. Authorities say Jones is an alleged member of the East Coast Jamaican criminal group involved in drug trafficking and may have been settling a score at a party on October 15th in the West Adams district. A reward of up to $100,000 was offered for his arrest. The FBI's Los Angeles field office assistant director telling us it was a tip that led to his arrest.
And the FBI, of course, thanking that tipster who called in and made this arrest possible. We're told that reward of up to $100,000 will be paid.
Now, like we said, he was arrested on December 2nd of 2016, which would be a day after he was added to the FBI top 10, and he was arraigned 4 days later on December 6th, and he was facing capital murder charges for killing the 4 people outside the Jamaican restaurant/home. And sentenced 4 counts of murder, along with special circumstances, it would make him eligible for the death penalty. He would then sit in the county jail for the next 3 years, fighting these 4 bodies. And this right here would be another crazy part to this story, because the outcome of this situation would be unbelievable. But like we said, 3 years after fighting this case, he would have the 4 murder counts dismissed on December 2nd of 2019. And on that same exact day, he would take a plea deal and have them 4 reduced to a voluntary manslaughter. And he would be sentenced to a total of 27 years in state prison, which would pretty much be 7 years for each body. And don't forget that this situation would be a situation where 4 people passed away and 11 people were shot, for a total of 15 victims. And also, don't forget that there was multiple shooters, and Marlon Jones would be the only one arrested, charged, and sentenced for this. But that right there is going to wrap it up for this story, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And let me know what you guys think in the comments. But comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. It's respectable rants. And may all the victims mentioned in this story rest in peace, and I'm sending my condolences to the families.